am just so proud of our team right now because at the end of regulation we had the game won with about 1:13 to go, and we simply gave it back to them. And then we had to make some spectacular plays to claw our way back, with Brittany hitting the threes, Natalie hitting the shot at the end of regulation. Just everything we did. Sky had some game-saving defensive plays, made the free throws down the stretch, and we really earned that one.
Thank you. We'll take the first question for the student athletes right here. Right here, please.
Kurt Rello, South Bend Tribune. This is for Skylar. Can you talk about the play you made on Hartley on the breakaway where you blocked the shot and just, then you found Brittany for the three, just the impact that had on the game?
Well, we were set up to play, and Britt, looked away as soon as I was throwing it. So I was, and I let it go. Tiffany got it. It was a 2-on-1. I kind of tried to dodge and fake. She passed it, and I was standing right there. So just tried to keep the ball in play, trying to tip it or just keep her from scoring without fouling. And then with them being back there, we had an advantage. So I sprinted. Nobody found Brittany. Everybody ran in the lane, and she had a lot of time to set up for that shot. And I told Britt at the end of regulation, I was like, Britt, I'm going to keep throwing it to you, so keep spotting up. And she knocked it down.
Question right here in the middle.
Yeah, Richard Deitcher, Sports Illustrated. Brittany, it just looked like you had a really eerie calm in the overtime. I wonder if you can just go through both of the threes and what you were feeling, and obviously it seemed like after you let the release, you knew they were good.
Yeah, it was, I was thinking about it a little bit, in regulation, not hitting the three, and it's been a while, but, like Sky said, she told me to keep shooting. My whole team was just telling me to, keep shooting. They're going to fall, and, when Sky hit that three, or hit me for the pass, and I lined up, I just had, took a deep breath and let it go and was thinking to myself, this one's going in, and finally they both went in, and I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy.
She almost cried on the
I did. I was so excited.
Question right here.
Corrales, South Bend Tribune. Brittany, can you talk about the defense on Hartley in the second half? Just what you guys changed after she had that first half?
We just really tried to focus in on not letting her get touches or we didn't really talk about it as much. Our defense just kind of came alive, and, we were talking about team defense has been one of our mottos all year. Just play together, play hard, and we just tried to make her uncomfortable a little bit. We were always there on the catch, and I think we did that with almost all their players tonight.
Question right here.
Chris Dempsey with the Denver Post. Skylar, could you just talk about the defense that they played against you in the first half and why it was so successful, and then the adjustments that you made in the second half to kind of get yourself going?
They were the aggressors in the first half. They were up aggressive, and we were passive. We were back on our heels, and we were settling for jump shots. And you got credit to their defense. They were up on us tight. And in the second half, we came in at halftime. We made adjustments. And in the second half, we came out and made sure that we were the aggressors, and we understood they were in some foul trouble. We attacked the basket, got them in more foul trouble, and just continued to play our game and at our pace. Okay. At my pace, then I'm trying to move as the team goes. Yeah. Just trying to push. I think I wasn't doing a good job of really pushing and getting out, and I was kind of passive. And like I said, coach told me to keep attacking. She told us to keep attacking, and I got good teammates around me that move off me, and we play off each other. At the end, I think our defense kind of led to our offense. We got a couple steals, got out in transition, got some points, and it was good for us to get our momentum going.
Question right here.
Skylar, Sean Duff from the Fort Collins, Colorado, and Gannett News Service. With about 22 seconds to go, and you guys were up 8, looked like you had sealed the win. You ran over to your coach and looked like you said something to her, and you both kind of smiled. Can you share what that was?
I can't tell you that. It's a secret. No, I just said, we got you, Coach. I hugged her. And, it means a lot. We play this game for her, and this team, we want to get it. We're hungry. And we told her at the beginning of the game, Coach, we didn't have you last game in the Big East tournament, and we're going to have you back this time. And thought this team really bought in and did a great job of backing Coach up.
Question right here.
Yeah, this question's for Deborah. How tough was it inside, especially in that first half where it seemed like there weren't many whistles and it seemed like a pretty physical game?
I think really in the first half they were getting a lot of easy layups. We were staying too long on screens and giving them wide open because of the basket. And so in the second half, we really tried to get over the screens and the guards so they could guard the guards and we can get back in the post, and they weren't getting easy shots.
Question right down here in front.
For Devereaux, can you talk about the rebounding, just the battle there, and also could you just talk about in general the fight this team has, what you did tonight?
Well, the rebounding was really important. I think the guards came in and crashed and tipped some balls and got some really key rebounds towards the end of the game. We weren't really rebounding that well early on. We were letting them really do whatever they wanted in the first half. So we tried to really focus on that in the second half, and I think the guards did a great job of getting in there and getting rebounds as well. And, this is a team that never quits. We've never been like that as long as I can remember. We're going to keep fighting no matter how much we're down, if the game is over, whatever it is, whatever it takes, we're going to keep fighting. And that's one thing I love about this team is that no matter what point in the game it is, we're going to fight it out until the end, showed today.
Question right here in front.
This is for all three of you. Lindsay Jones from the Denver Post. I was hoping you could take us back through those final kind of really crazy last 90 seconds. No, you don't want to, Skylar, where obviously they had a couple steals, a couple big baskets and free throws, but then to Natalie's last final shot.
Oh, man. You want me to start?
Go ahead, start, Skylar.
We were in the same predicament as we were at the end of regulation, and this time I think we went in the huddle up 4 with a minute and 20. We were like, we got to finish, leave it all on the court, and I think this team did that, and man, I turned it over, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get back. And Britt knocked the 3 down, and then we were talking about our stops in the huddle, how we just needed to get 3 more stops, and let's run a little clock, and we knew they were going to be up pressuring us. And thought we did a good job at the end, and kind of could let out a sigh of relief when we got up 3 possessions, and we just knew we were going to switch everything and not foul, and if it was a 2, just try to stay in front.
I think one of the best things about our team right now is that we can hold our composure in situations like that. We've been in a lot of tough situations, and like Sky said, when she turned it over and they went on the 2-on-1 fast break, she could have easily just fouled or not been in the right spot and given up. But she ran back and got a huge play and got a huge block and got the ball back. And it just shows how composed we can be even in those situations where, it seems like things aren't going our way.
Brittany, did you have a comment?
I'm good.
Okay. We have time we'll take a couple more questions. One right back here.
Pete LaFleur, blue and gold. Brittany, I think it was the first 3 you had.
Since the first game.
Yeah, you guys have had really good passing all year, a lot of high assist percentage, and I think it fed through both your post players. And if it was like a hockey assist, they both would have gotten assists. And it's kind of been when you guys have been performing well this season, that's been the case. Can you discuss that and how important that was to that play and kind of you guys playing your brand of ball at that point?
Yeah, our team loves to share the ball. We have confidence in each other, and, even though I wasn't hitting threes, most of the tournament, they kept feeding me the ball. They kept telling me to shoot, and, Sky, she gave me the most confidence today when she said they're going to go in, and it was just a big sigh of relief when that first one finally went in. And, our team loves to share the ball, like I said, and we're going to help each other out, and if someone's open, we're not going to be selfish. We're going to move the ball, and that's when we're at our best.
Take one final question right here.
For any of the players, is it sweeter because it was UConn here, Brittany?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's great, getting to this championship game, and it's the exact thing that happened last year. But we've had a battle with them all year. We played them three times before this game, and they won the last game that we had. We faced each other, and it couldn't be a better way to go to the championship.
I think it's great for the Big East, though. 2 straight years, 2 Final Four teams, and what a game like this for fans to watch. And I know basketball fans all around the country were foaming at the mouth seeing this, and when it went to overtime, I know everybody was like, oh, you see, even Stanford Baylor crowd got into it. But this was great, and yes, it's that much sweeter because it is UConn.
Thank you, ladies. Student athletes will be available in the locker room. Connecticut's locker room closes in 2 minutes. We'll continue with questions for head coach McGraw. We'll start right down here.
Kurt Rallo, South Bend Tribune. Coach, can you talk about your team's character, the way they came back from that letdown at the end of regulation?
You know, it was a huge letdown, and it was important that we went into the huddle with a positive attitude. And I thought my staff did a really good job of stopping me before I got there to make sure that we did go in on a positive note. And the players were great. You know, they were pumping each other up, and we had beaten them in overtime in South Bend, so you know we kind of had a little bit of the same idea going into the overtime. But yeah, it was huge for them to not put their heads down and say, God, we just kind of blew it. You know, they were just ready to go.
Question right here on the left.
Coach Sean Duff again from the Fort Collins, Colorado and Gannett News Service. Can you talk about what it means to you when the players say they've got your back?
Yeah, it's very emotional for me with this group. I don't think I've ever had a group like this. They take such ownership. We play for each other. You know, I feel the same way about them. I want them to experience a national championship. I'm just every time I look at them, all I can think of is how much I love them. You know, it's like a little bit like being a mom and watching your daughters do some great things, and it's always a proud moment for me.
Question right here from Kurt.
Coach, can you talk about Skylar's play, the block, and then the feed for Mallory to get that three, just the impact it had on the game?
That was game saving. You know, that was huge. You can't even that would have turned the game around had they made that layup. You know, so it was just so important. And as Dev said, you know, a lot of times you turn the ball over, you tend to put your head down and kind of jog back and hope somebody else gets there. And boy, she sprinted the floor. Made that huge play. I think when she came out of there with the ball, I don't think anybody really saw where she was, and all of a sudden she came dribbling out of the pack, and I think it just gave us such a big momentum lift, and then Britt hitting the three, you know, just topped it off.
Question right here from Richard.
Muffet, you said that the players were going to approach this as a business trip, and I wonder if you could, now that it's been a couple days, what's their psyche been like, and how would you evaluate them and just how they've been here in Denver?
Yeah, they've really been great. We in fact I think probably they haven't had enough fun. You know, we went out to the Broncos stadium and had dinner out there and had a tour of the stadium, and that, you know, that was kind of nice. But I think they really want to have some time off to themselves to kind of experience the city, and so I think they've been great in terms of their attitude and their approach. And you know, we kind of kept telling them, well, if we win, you're going to get more free time, so we'll have a lot of fun if we can win this one.
A question right here.
Matt Robinson with The Observer. Early in the first half, it seemed like Connecticut was beating you backdoor, and they were getting a lot of easy buckets with Dolson inside. Was it simply the fact that Dolson was in foul trouble early on second half, or what did you adjust to eliminate that?
You know, she really played well, and we were really happy when she got that third foul and had to go out of the game because we were having trouble guarding her. We were supposed to be fronting her. We never quite got there. You know, she was setting a lot of ball screens. We hedged a little bit too long. We didn't get back in time. I thought our next plan was to double team her. You know, she had a couple times where she dribbled. We forgot to go down and double. She really played well. That's one of the best games she's had against us, and certainly having her out of the game for 7 or 8 minutes was important for us.
Question right here from Kurt.
Kurt Rallo, South Bend Tribune. Can you talk about what it means to you and what it means to the program? You're now 3-0 against Connecticut in national semifinal games.
You know, I don't really look at it that way because it's over such a long span of time, and they're a program that's here so often. It's nice to be able to be a team that can actually beat them here.
Question right here.
Muffet, I realize that we're right after this game, but have you had any chance to look at tape of Baylor or Stanford? I know you've played Baylor this year. We don't know who the outcome is going to be, but you're going to be playing a good team regardless.
And we're going to play in a good rebounding team with good post players. So, yeah, we're going to have the probably a similar game plan. But I've seen a little more of Baylor. I feel like they've been on TV a lot more. You don't get really to see the West Coast games. I can't stay up that late during the tournament to watch them. So I'll be cramming. I'll be cramming tonight for Stanford if they win. And just know that both of them, with Nneka, Chiney, and then Griner and Destiny Williams and Pope, they have so many bigs inside. So our posts are going to have to be ready.
Question in the back.
James Curley, Yahoo Sports. Coach, you know UConn so well at this point in the season, and you know each other so well, and maybe there was an edge there with Skylar, possibly, compared to UConn this year. Kind of abnormal for them not having that Maya Moore or, you know, that player that, you know, when it's crunch time, it's going in their hands. There wasn't kind of that obvious person this year for UConn, but for you guys, you have Skylar, who was creating even when she wasn't scoring. Do you think maybe that was kind of the edge in this game?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think Skylar's the difference maker for us. I think she does that. And when you look at their team late in the game, you wonder who they're going to go to. Well, there wasn't any question today it was going to be Dolson. I thought that was pretty obvious from the way they were looking inside to her. And she really stepped up. But I think when you have a team and you're not really sure who's going to be the one, it is a little bit difficult at the end of a game. So I think that was an edge for us.
Question from right here.
Can you talk about the fight and character of your team, because you've come back before from halftime deficits?
Yeah, we have, and we were down. I'm sure in a few games this year, and probably at Hartford. Came back in the last game of regulation, but they just don't quit. I think they just keep on going. They know they have the confidence, they have the maturity, the poise, and that calm. That calm that Brittany brings.
Time for one final question. There's nothing left. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.